What is up, YouTube? So today we're gonna go over the Sanag. I'm probably mangled that name, but we're gonna go over this speaker, and it's the M8 wireless Bluetooth speaker. We'll go over its price point, its functions, and whether or not you should purchase this speaker. If you don't want to watch this whole review, I'm gonna tell you hands down buy this speaker if you're looking for something small, portable, and budget friendly. So let's get into this review and see what it's all about. Okay, so what do you get in the box? You know, you get this hard box that we all come to know. And you know a quality box when it does not release, when it has that friction fit. Like, that's pretty nice because you don't want your contents falling out. Then here that the speaker sat in, you get your instructions. You get a charging cable, micro USB, and you get your auxiliary jack. Okay, one thing I gotta say is this company sucks at boxing the inside. Like, as you can see, this is sitting here. It has plenty of room on both sides, and it does not sit flat, and that's how it was sent. So maybe someone just didn't package it right. Overall, you don't care about the box. What you care about is, get that out of the way, this speaker. And I'm gonna tell you, this is an amazing speaker. Okay, so for the specs on this Bluetooth speaker, they're claiming that it's Bluetooth 4.2, of course, 360 sound, two 5-watt high quality speakers, of course 3D sound because of the two speakers, IPX5 waterproof, or water resistant, we should say. 8 to 10 hours of playback time. It's actually going to be about 10 hours if you play at 50% volume, and a charging time of 4 hours. Okay, so let's look at what you get on the outside before we actually play, and what shows you what makes it so great. So the cool thing about this speaker is, of course, you could sync two of these together. All right, you have your bypass radiator right here. Okay, it's pretty neat because it's square. It's not your typical round. I like the rectangular shape, or as far as like its look, the rectangular shape's nice versus, like, say, JBL's round speakers for the Charge, the Extreme, the Flip, because it's like, yeah, they got a footprint, but they could be easily rolled over, you know. You have rubber here. This is all really nice soft rubber. Tactile buttons, really nice tactile buttons. This fabric, which is soft, softer than, I would say, JBL's. You have a speaker here and a speaker on this side to give you that 360 sound, and then you have like a radiator cutout on this side. That's probably just to help with, or aid with, airflow. And then on this side you have your pause play button, your sync to your other devices when you pair these up to a dual setup. And then you have your skip buttons here, and then you have your power button. The nice thing about this, or, well, what makes it kind of weird is when you look at this, this looks like it's the top, but when you read what's under here, it's upside down, as well as this stuff. So that's kind of weird. You got to flip it this way to read it, but that puts the buttons on the floor. Okay. But I mean, given that, no big deal. You flip this open. This is probably the one thing I hate about this speaker altogether, is this flap. And the reason for that is if you plug anything in here, such as your, well, let's go over what you get. Okay, you have your auxiliary in, you have a charging port here. This, I believe, could act as a charger, and it could also act as, you know what, let's test it out. But you could also put your little micro SD card in there, and then also play your speaker, you know, if you have a thumb drive. Okay, but this is what I don't like, is if you plug something in here, such as an auxiliary or even your charging cable, this is going to ride on it, so it's going to push up on it. And the reason why I don't like that is because it could loosen up the jack over a long period of time. But I mean, it is what it is. No big deal. But let's check that out. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is power it up. So of course it's going to go into automatic pair mode for like your Bluetooth setup. But with that being powered on, okay, I'm going to plug in my phone. Okay, so you're going to see it be plugged in, and then you'll see if it charges. Okay, so it's getting plugged in, and as you can see, ooh, that's weird, this pops up that it's not supported, and then it goes back into charge mode. So it's kind of weird because we're getting a charging indicator that's charging, clicks off, and then it says not supported. So it's almost like it wants to charge it. No, it doesn't. See if I turn it off and plug it in. Okay, turn it off, plug it in, nothing. So it will not charge your phone. Oh well, it's a smaller battery anyway. So of course you got your TF card reader, which is your SD setup, something like this, a smaller guy. Plug right on into there. By the way, if you're interested in these are only $5 or $6 on Amazon right now. Let's turn it on. Okay, so instead of doing Bluetooth, what we're going to do is just plug in my USB to it, see if it picks it up right away. So I recommend turning it on first. Okay, so as you can see right away, it started playing it on this card reader setup. That was pretty easily done. So if you don't have one of these, you could just use your regular thumb drive. Okay, of course I don't want to get struck by copyright crap, so we're gonna do the Bluetooth setup. Okay, and I'm gonna log on. Let's see, Bluetooth. It pops up right away. You say okay. It's still loading. Connected. And then we're gonna go over some of the audio behind it. See if it's really worth purchasing. Okay, but before we get into that, of course you have your buttons here, nice fabric. You have your lanyard. Nothing to really look at as far as the lanyard's concerned. It's like a shoelace. Other than that, the build quality is really nice. All the buttons feel really good. What also worries me about this cover is these might, start poking through after a while of pressing. I don't know. Only time will tell. I haven't had it long enough to really see if it's going to last and how long the material is going to hold up for. But don't worry about that. If you use it a lot, you got a 12-month warranty, which is a year. So you should be pretty good within that year, and you should be able to, kind of calibrate and see where you're going to be at with this speaker, whether or not you're going to have to get a replacement or not. Okay, so as far as the volume's concerned, we're going to start off at a quarter, half, and then 3/4, and then full. So this is at a quarter of playing as far as volume's concerned. So that's about 1.5 to 2 feet away. Now we're going to go up to half. boost it up to about 3/4. Now we're gonna go full. And as you can tell, when you hit full, it does give you a rift, just like the JBL speaker. Okay, so comparing it to the Flip, it definitely is really close to the Flip. As far as sound and bass, this thing has really good vocals, and bass is really good in the bass. It's not, of course, going to vibrate the ground or anything, but it does give you a thump. Compared to other Bluetooth speakers around that $40 range, which this is going to cost you, this is definitely a phenomenal purchase. Like, hands down, I do not regret this purchase. And matter of fact, I'm going to buy two, one for my desk area to run the computer on, and then one for at work, just because at $40 you could plug in this USB setup or these SD cards, which allows you to play music without having to pair up. And a lot of speakers do not offer that nowadays, especially JBL. They don't even give you that option. One thing I wish a speaker like this would have is FM radio, but of course all the FM stuff is either big and bulky, or it's going to be the smaller package stuff and without really good sound quality. So I mean, a lot of people don't use FM radios anymore. I like it because I could play my local channels and not have to worry about it. But the reason why I bought this was so that way I could hook up something like this to it and forget about it. So that's really nicely packaged. So overall, like I said, hands down, I would definitely purchase this again, which is why I'm going to buy another one. So I do recommend this. Of course, do I recommend it over the Flip? Definitely, because it's half the price and it sounds just as good. Now, if the Flip was around this price range, would I recommend this over the Flip? I'd say yes. And the only reason for that is because they offer these options that you could run your speaker on, you know, either one of these, and you don't have to be always connected to it. So you're getting a lot more bang for the buck, and the sound quality is just as good. Now, do I recommend this over? Okay, so do I recommend this speaker over a JBL Extreme or something of that nature? If price is an issue, then yes. If SD card and card reader or something along those lines is an issue, then yes, I recommend this one over the JBL Extreme. If you're just doing Bluetooth versus Bluetooth, no. And the reason for that is because the JBL Extreme has actually 2 ports to charge devices on, and it's a lot larger speaker. You get bigger battery and all that stuff, so it's more versatile. So of course not in those regards, but if charging's not an issue for you, then I'd go with this one if you're looking for, you know, a Bluetooth speaker that's all around pretty good. Not only that, no one really charges their phone with the speaker anyway. I mean, you should have a battery bank, or you should have a full charge phone. And this one kind of aids that as well, because you don't need a phone to run this. So you don't really need to charge anything. It runs as is, and you don't have to worry about leaving your phone, you know, connected, or leaving it and walk away. And, you know, you have full capabilities with your phone and not even have to worry about the speaker. So also you can, since you have this, you know, speaker here, this bypass radiator, you have these little notches cut out. So if you want some rumbling effect, I don't know if it's going to give you a tremendous, you know, rumbling effect that you're looking for, but it does give you something. These little notches cut out here allow that motion to escape without, you know, just making the flapping noise because it's hitting on something and there's nowhere for the air to travel. It does allow it to go outward and give you that thump. Bass quality, this thing is pretty bass heavy given the fact that, or given its size. It is really well versatile in that bass department if you do like that bassy sound. And the highs and the mids are clean. So that's going to complete today's video. If you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. If you want to see content like this and other content I'll be posting in the near future, definitely consider subscribing. Until next time, I'll see y'all in the next one.